Always a pleasure to have her in the studio. Lindie, Coach Lindie, hoe gaan dit vandag?
Dit gaan baie goed, dankie Christy. Uitstekend, and especially we've got a lovely guest lined up today, so I'm very excited to get going.
Can't wait to hear from him. Introduce your guest and carry on for Lindie.
So listeners, like I've said, super excited to meet and chat with Anga. Anga is the owner and founder of Bonsolo, which is an amazing business operating in the heart of Stellenbosch and I suppose Winelands. So Anga, welcome to the studio. Lovely talking to you today.
Thank you so much, Lindie. I appreciate it. And good day to all your learners.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anga, Bonsolo is a trading company, but I'd rather you explain what it is that you do with this beautiful business. What is it that you guys do?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So Bonsolo, basically what we do is we supply, corporates, NGOs, government, the hospitality industry, so hotels, restaurants, basically with fresh vegetables, cleaning materials, and dry foods as well, and whatever that they might need within that sector. So we customize according to the client what they want. So we don't have a blanket approach. So it all basically depends on what the client wants at that specific time and how they want it, and then we package it tailored to the client's needs.
Lovely. So basically acting as a middleman between supply and sources of supply and whoever might need whatever in those various sectors.
Exactly, because I think what we found is that sometimes they don't have the manpower to be able to execute that or to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So in return, we then save them time and money, we believe.
Yeah.
So then when we're able to do those roles, because not all of them have a procurement department.
Yes.
So basically that's where we come in to say that, look, we'll save you this hassle so you can focus on whatever it is that you need to focus on, and we'll take care of this for you.
That's amazing. So, and I think, just again emphasize on the fact that businesses exist because we're there solving a problem or a challenge, right?
Exactly.
Is that how it all started? So who was your very first client? Can you remember? And when was that?
Interesting. So basically what happened is in the very beginning, not the very beginning, but when it started with Bonsolo, I think the whole concept, so I used to work for a non-profit. So the non-profit used to supply food parcels to its beneficiaries. And so in the non-profit space, I knew other non-profits as well because I was there. And others had soup kitchens, others had aftercares, others had whatever they had, but they needed food and ingredients because some of them had soup kitchens, so they needed to cook the food.
Sure.
But then as I was there in that space, I realized, no man, none of these people have a procurement department. And they're struggling to get the food.
Even resources like manpower and vehicles.
Exactly, and to pack the parcels and to do all of those things.
Yeah.
And so I started with where I worked. I worked at a non-profit called Prochorus, which is in Kayamandi in Stellenbosch. And I approached then who was, my boss then. And then I said, look, I want to do this. Will you guys be my client? And they said yes. And then we used to do food parcels for them. And then the second one, I approached another NPO called Kuyasa, also in that same vicinity. And they were doing food parcels and soup kitchen. So then, and cleaning materials. So for them, I was kind of getting, the whole
all
everything.
Three of those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that helped us a lot in terms of gaining experience. So that
when figuring out what's our process, how to go about doing this.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden a business is born. And
then that's how things started.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I didn't even have a vehicle back then. So
how did you even manage, Anga?
I used to borrow my friend's car.
Your best friend's car. So you start by favors, right?
I used to be like, look, I quickly need to go to town.
Yeah.
But I'm going all the way.
Is that person still your friend?
Yeah, no, I told them years later,
Oh, this is what actually happened.
Yeah, this is what actually happened to the car.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, if you could see your car sometimes because it would be drop dead because it would be full of stuff. Like, why take so long to go to town? I'm like, no, there was traffic.
Oh my God.
And I think the me saying that is to say that sometimes you don't need to wait until you have everything to start. You know,
I
in
like
English,
that.
yeah, because English has a nice saying that says, "Where there's a will, there's a way."
Yeah.
So if you're willing and there's a will,
Yeah.
a way will basically
Yeah,
come
and you make a plan, right?
Exactly.
So you've got this idea, you've got to make it happen. So what have you got? If it's a friend's car, it's a friend's car. I did ask you if, where does the name come from, Bonsolo? And can you, it's such a lovely story. Tell our listeners where the name of your business came from.
So Bonsolo,
and what does it mean, actually?
So Bonsolo is spelled B-O-N and then Solo, S-O-L-O. So meaning we just took out the R, not to make it obvious. So it means you're born alone. Everyone is born alone unless you're twin. But still, you
Most of us alone into the world.
Exactly, born alone. But as you're born alone, no man is an island. So meaning, as you're born solo, you need other people to do whatever you do in life, whether you're hosting a radio show, whether you are selling cars, whether you are, whatever you do, you need people in order for you to fulfill whatever the mandate of what you're doing is. And so I believe that's what business is, that we need clients and we need each other. So I need my clients need me, and therefore we form a community. So that's meaning amazing. That as much as we're born alone, born solo, but no man is an island.
I love that. And I mean, again, I always coach my business clients that business is all about relationships in essence, if you think about it. So, I have a conversation with you. We talk about, what are your struggles? And from there, the idea gets born about your business. And, hey, I'm here. I could help. And before you know it, you've formed a network of clients and suppliers.
Exactly.
And, that's amazing. I love that.
No, that's so true, talking about relationships, because I always say my first clients, which are still my clients, that was a relationship, because they knew me because I was in their space. And then when I said to them, look, I'm starting a business and this is what I want to do, and I take this burden away from you, will you be willing? And they were willing to give me the chance. They were willing to say, okay, because we know you, we've worked with you, and therefore it's fine, you can go ahead, we trust you. And I made some terrible mistakes in the beginning.
But you know what, everything is forgiven when I know the person and I trust the person that you will recover. And I think for me in business, the currency is trust. If I can build a relationship with trust, I will gain myself a client which I'll probably keep forever. So well done. Christy, when we come back, we're going to unpack a little bit more about Anga's journey to today.
And especially for Anga, the CEO and founder of Bonsolo Trading. This one by Clean Bandit and Demi Lovato, Solo. We're busy with Business Lunch with Coach Lindie. Lindie, second session. Can't wait to how he's going solo. He has been not going solo for the past.
How not being solo has been Anga's journey. Anga, you obviously are a person of many talents, and I'm actually looking at you watching two phones, so you've got a lot going on. So how does having a business tie in with who you are as a person and what you want from life?
Good question. So just a backstory. So when I started out in my life, in this journey of life, I always tell people my biggest thing in life is I want to help people. I believe I'm here to help. So I started off, I was in politics, and then I left that because I realized it's people are there for themselves. And then I joined the non-profit organization, or there to help. Then I realized the funders dictate how the money should be spent, even if there's no need to spend it there. Then I left that world. Then I went into business, and in business, then I can dictate, where I want to help and how I want to help. But besides me dictating, the people that I'm helping, they get to say, okay, look, Anga, our need is here and not there. So I remember 2 years back, 2 years back, we were giving to schools, like school uniform. So I went to the schools, I asked, what's your need? Most schools in the township, they were like, most of our kids don't have school uniform. And our company, Bonsolo, bought a lot of school uniform for the kids. And then we went to another school and we asked them, what's your need? And their need was not uniform, but their need was transport money or something like that. And I was like, no, but we want to give uniform. But then I remembered, no, man, I must not dictate what they want to use it for. So I said, it's fine, we'll give you still, but then you can use it how you guys want to. We trust you, because they were also a client of ours as well, the school.
Oh,
so we're just giving back to our clients and a way of saying thank you. So in that way, basically deep down, what I want to do is just want to help people who can't necessarily help themselves, or some of them will just need that little bit of push, you know, due to their circumstances, and also just based on how I grew up and what I've seen growing up, and realizing if I had a little bit of push at an early stage, maybe I could have been 10 times further than when I am today.
Sure.
So let me be to others who I wanted or needed back in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is such an inspiration, Anga. So what has been some of the highlights in the business up till now? I mean, is there a couple of things you'd like to highlight?
I think, one is what I just spoke of, the giving.
Oh, the giving part.
So, yeah, we gave a lot, man, 2 years ago. It's a lot. I don't want to mention the amount, look like we brag, but we gave a huge amount from our business. I was even surprised. So I think that was the highlight. The other highlight was able to employ people. When I counted how many staff we've employed.
So how big is the team currently?
So currently, I don't know. If I count myself, I think about 6-7 people.
Okay, lovely. And obviously a fleet of cars now.
Exactly.
Since, okay.
Yeah. So,
but that's the thing. I mean, you know, you start this business solo, and before you know it, you've got a team.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you influence in a big way. But then we also know business is not always simple, right?
I tell you.
So what has been some real challenges, and how did you overcome those as an inspiration to our listeners?
I think, you know, I used to have a partner in a business long time ago. So that was one challenge. You know, we always did
partnership on its own, right?
Yeah, was a huge challenge. They didn't see eye to eye in certain things and most things. And we ended up breaking away. That's when Bonsolo was born. But so that was one. And I think the other challenge is when you start to lose clients.
And you've got to look in the mirror and say, okay, what went wrong?
Exactly.
How can we fix this?
Exactly. And in the beginning, I was kind of big-headed. It was like, no, they can go. So to answer your question, the lesson learned there is to value, even if a client brings me R1 a month, but that client is important because they help build my base and they help build my experience, but they also help build my reference. So when a bigger client comes and they say, who are you currently serving? That client counts as one of my references. So
everyone is important, right?
Exactly. So I think that's one lesson that I really learned the hard way, that each and every client is very important. Doesn't matter the size of money they bring into the business.
Lovely. And I can
just one more.
Please, absolutely.
And also managing people and dealing with staff.
Challenges around that,
I tell you that is one of the hardest. You know, I think when you start, because you're alone, it's much easier.
Yeah.
And then you employ 1 or 2, and then you employ 3, and then all of a sudden you have a team.
It becomes complicated.
And then there's someone that you say, okay, now look, there's a hierarchy. So I'm here and you're here, so you take care of these people. Then those people complain about, oh my goodness, I tell you. So to be able to manage all of them, no one teaches you that.
No one teaches, and it's a skill, and and we've got to understand. But you know what? I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm smiling because initially I think when you start out just employing someone, just grab someone with a pair of legs and seemingly a brain and we'll get it done. And then and then afterwards, what have I done? And so we've got to be a lot more discerning in terms of selecting the right people. And I think that's the journey we need to go through to understand what we want and who are the people we'd like to take with us.
Exactly. My mentor once said that you don't employ skill, but you employ attitude. He said skill you can teach to anyone. Anyone can be taught a skill.
True.
But attitude, someone needs to have it within them. So, because you can't teach them if you don't want it. So you employ. So I think that helped me. But after I've failed a couple of times.
You've paid the school fees.
Yeah, I've paid the school fees a couple of times. Yeah.
So, and I think when we come back, Christy, I'd like to pick up, Anga mentioned that he took on a mentor and, the value that person added to him in his journey. But I can't wait to be talking to Anga a little bit more right after this.
Well, we're busy with Business Lunch with Coach Lindie, and she's chatting to Anga Bonong from Bonsolo, the CEO and founder there. A last session, Lindie, can't wait.
Anga, you quickly referenced the fact that you did or still have a mentor or coach. How does that help how did that add value in any way?
It adds a lot of value because I think, they've paid school fees more than I have or before I have, and they know better than I've known. So they've walked the journey, before me. So some of the mistakes that they've done, they help me not to try and repeat the same mistakes. And because, you know, they like an eagle. They have a better view than what I have. So they can see better and they're able to direct me and guide me better. So I think mentorship is very important. I remember one of my friends, just quickly, back in the day, she said, you know what, Anga? You kind of got this whole thing, business thing, stuff figured out. That was before Bonsolo. I used to do events.
Oh my God, another one.
I try and look.
Well done.
That's what I always try to say to young people is that, or to people in general, that I always say, look, man, you'll try and fail at a lot of stuff, but you'll finally figure it out if you really have this thing inside of you. So I've done events. I've tried music as well.
You mentioned drama.
Yeah, and music.
You're very talented.
I was once a rapper, but anyway, what I want to say with that, and she said, look, you look like you've got figured out, but the only problem is you don't have any mentor. You don't have anyone guiding you.
Oh.
And she was right. And that's very important. Very important to have someone by your side that you are able to ask questions because they've been through it, or they know someone else that have been through it, so they can help you.
It's that source of experience and maybe just
And
helping you
wisdom.
connecting some of the dots, which is not always that obvious.
Exactly.
So you obviously have got some big dreams for Bonsolo. So what is your dream for this beautiful business going forward?
So probably I'll break them down to two now because of time. But I think, you know, at the moment, if one of the things we would like is to have like a huge chain, whether it's a restaurant chain or it's a corporate, you know, that is maybe national or even local. When I say local, I mean Western Cape. That, you know, they can be our clients.
Okay.
And we can supply them. I think that'll be one of our huge
looking for a
breakthroughs.
nice big national contract.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that'll be huge and that'll be great. So I think that's where we're at right now. But our biggest dream, you know, if you walk into our office, it's written there, our mission statement is to become a one-stop shop for our clients, you know. So our clients, basically, they get everything from us, one invoice, then they know they deal with one person for us to supply them with basically all of their needs. I think that's basically the big dream. So to become one-stop shop for our clients throughout South Africa.
That's amazing. Anga, so what gives you hope being in business in South Africa, which is sometimes challenged in itself? So what gives you hope? What keeps you going?
I think besides my faith, which is God, or being a Christian, I think, you know, so that's one. But apart from that, I think when I look at things, there's a lot of good things going on in our country, and there's a lot of opportunities, you know, if you just look in the right places. I think my mentor once mentioned the red card theory. I'm not sure if you know it. So what that means is, if I can ask you now, coming here, how many red cards you've seen, and probably say 0. But if I say now, going to home or going back to wherever you're going, for every red card that you see, I'll give you 10,000 rand. You'll probably see a lot of red cards.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll spot a lot of them. So that means you need to be able to spot the opportunity.
That's
Do you
brilliant.
want the opportunity? And then able to spot it. So I think there's a lot of hope in terms of there's new things happening, there's change happening, you know, in South Africa. But there's a lot of hope in the sense that there's lots of opportunity, but I just think that sometimes we are often bombarded by all the negative things that happen.
Yeah, or we choose to maybe just see the negative and not actively look for the positives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always say to people, you know, South Africa has so much opportunities, but if you just look in the right places, we are to find them, and don't always walk around with this negative baggage or saying this is going wrong and this is going wrong. And if you look looking at the wrong places, that's what you'll see.
Yeah.
So depending, you know, if you look for the red car.
Yeah, and Anga, I gotta say, your whole business philosophy and what you build on is that we are a tribe, right? And we are a community.
Exactly.
And to take hands, because it's in with our normal people's hands to change our destiny and future, right? Do you agree with me?
Definitely, you know, there's an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah,
you know,
I've heard that one.
Exactly, and that's true.
It's true.
You know, so I think, as I'm saying, you know, or in Sotho they have a saying that says, "Umutukabat," you know, we are people by the people. So even in business, for your business to succeed, you need people to buy in it. So I think that is exactly true, that we are a community that needs each other and that needs to kind of support and hold hands with each other.
I love that. Can you single out one distinct, unique advantage in doing business with Bonsolo as a client? Is there anything that stand out that
Yes, there's a lot.
you get to make a big difference?
There's a lot, but one, you get to contribute to us because we do a lot of give back, because that's the world I come from. But besides, so your money does not only go, to paying salaries and, to me, but it also goes and help other people. But besides that, so when you're with us, as you said, you're not just a number.
Okay.
But you're actually a client and you by name. Though at the office sometimes we have a funny way or our own way of describing people, describing a certain business that if you come in and talk about it, you won't know it, but we know it. So what I'm trying to say is you are unique and you're not just a number, but you are a unique client and we are focused on you and on your needs.
I love that. So with Bonsolo, Christy, I get the idea that they will know me and I matter. And you make it your business to care.
Exactly. Oh, I should steal that slogan.
You're welcome.
Exactly.
It's out on the air, so put that on your wall.
Exactly. That's so true. I could never describe it better. So it's our business to care because we believe that if we don't care about you, then someone else come and snatch you.
Absolutely.
So it we really make it our business to care and try to provide all your needs. We're not always 100% successful rate at it, but I think we have a 95% successful rate.
We'll run with that.
Because things happen, things happen.
And in your own words, we don't have to be perfect to start off with. We can aspire to become perfect in the process.
Exactly.
Christy, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to Anga. So Anga, I know there's a lot of listeners out there wanting to chat to you, a lot of business owners, guest house owners, hoteliers, chain shops, restaurants. Where and how can they get hold of you?
Yes, please, guys, do get hold of me.
Jump on the telephone immediately.
Look, you can get us a hold on email. It's bonsolotrading@gmail.com. So it's BONSOLO, Bonsolo without the R, and then trading@gmail.com. So one word, small caps, bonsolotrading@gmail.com. And then, our number or my number that you can get me on, it's 072 972 2925. That's my business number. It's available from 8 in the morning up until 6 in the evening.
But I'm sure, Christy, also if some listeners want to get a hold of Anga, we can also direct their calls or give them the information, right?
Yeah, they can just phone Helderberg FM.
Oh, of course. There we go.
Yes, please do call in guest houses, hotels, restaurants.
All of you people out there, let's build this beautiful community.
You told him we're splitting this profit that he makes.
So, Anga, I just want to finish off with saying, may you be blessed in so many ways, doing the good that you're doing through a beautiful business called Bonsolo Trading.
Thank you.
And it was an absolute pleasure to get to know you. And Christy, I think we are inspired, aren't we?
Absolutely. Also from my side, what a pleasure to meet you, and best of luck for the future.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invite. Really appreciate it. Had a good time. Thank you so much.
Only a pleasure. Ek sien vir jou volgende week weer selfde tyd.
Yes, we will be back. Thanks, Christy.
Dankie, Lindie.